and it's a pleasure to serve with you in the chair. And I thank my honourable friend from Bury North for securing this debate, and would also like to say how much I enjoy working on the Education Select Committee with him. I'd like to begin by sharing some of my own musical journey and the importance it has and does play in my life. At the age of around 6, I had a new teacher. She was the youngest teacher I'd ever had, because I went to a very formal, traditional primary school. She was warm, she was funny, she was different, and I loved her. She read to us Longfellow's Hiawatha, but asked us on the second reading to beat the rhythm of the poem onto our wooden desks with our fists. I couldn't believe we were allowed to do that. We could make such a noise. I remember the excitement and liberation of being able to bang my fist on the desk. She then gave out different percussion instruments, and on the third recitation, we were asked to use our instruments, keeping to the rhythm. It was chaos, but it was fun, and it was very noisy. But it was like an awakening. I could hardly breathe, I was so excited. I longed for every lesson where this new teacher would play music and we could experiment. She allowed me to play on the piano in the school hall, as my parents couldn't afford for me to have formal lessons. She gave up her own time to sit with me, and I never forgot her kindness or the joy of touching the keys of that piano for the first time. I did not get the opportunity to continue with the piano sessions, as my parents couldn't afford it. And the fact that I can't play an instrument today is one of my few regrets. However, I do know that throughout the most important times in our lives, music is the thread. At family celebrations, the music chosen is key. At funerals, the songs we play to say goodbye are so important to us all. Then for me, there was the 70s disco dancing with funky go around the handbags.
What a pairing.
Musical milestones of everyone's life. Fast forward, and I'm a teacher and a parent. I vowed that my own children and the pupils in my school would have every opportunity to enjoy and experience music. My own children knew the joy of local authority-funded music lessons. Both now play an instrument and have a great lifelong love of music. The local music centre gave young people the opportunity to perform at Queen Elizabeth Hall and the Royal Albert Hall. They loved playing and made friends for life, one of whom, Tom Challenger, went on to Guildhall and is now a professional saxophonist. As head of a large primary in a deprived area, I was determined that every child would get the opportunity to sing and play instruments. The creative curriculum was valued and invested in. I appointed a specialist music teacher, and every child experienced that quality teaching. For every child, music mattered. And one of my proudest moments was having pupils perform on Radio 3 as part of the Huddersfield Contemporary Music Festival. The following year, our school was awarded Artsmark Gold. It was an inclusive school, filled with music and the children's joy of learning through music. So, what are most children experiencing today? The Fabian Society's report, Primary Colours, tells us that 68% of teachers in England say arts provision in their primary school has decreased since 2010. 49% believe the quality of arts provision has worsened since 2010. There's also a significant regional disparity, with primary school teachers in the north 16% points more likely to feel there's a lack of resources than teachers in the east of England. I asked Tom Meredith, the principal of Musica in Kirklees, how he sees music in our local schools today. Tom has been an inspirational, much respected conductor for choral and instrumental music in Kirklees for many years. Tom said, school funding cuts means that schools simply don't have the money to pay for resources, nor teachers. Musica Kirklees used to receive £299,000 from Kirklees Council each year, but by 2016 this was cut to nothing as a result of local government cuts. This resulted in the closure of 2 music centres, and lessons for gifted young musicians had to be cut. Whilst it currently appears that nationally there's been an increase in the amount of young people engaging with music education, schools are actually lumping more students into larger classes. In fact, the number of young people in smaller long-term music classes or lessons where they are properly engaged and learn how to play an instrument or sing has actually dropped dramatically. Music can comfort and heal. It can lift our spirits and bring people together. As Shakespeare said, if music be the food of love, then play on. Let's fund music properly in our schools so that working class kids, just as I was, can be given the chance to play on.
Hear, hear.